Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well, and welcome to your TV program, Tell Me About. We're here at the book fair for a special episode. A book is a gift you can open again and again. It's the most loyal friend you can ever have. But unfortunately, nowadays, people are reading less paper books and they're reading more electronical books. And now the magic is disappearing. Dear viewers, today we're having two beautiful minds, two wonderful persons here at the Knowledge Channel. Mr. Ait Abdurrahman, welcome to Channel 7.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yassin. It's our pleasure to receive us today.
The pleasure is mine. And Mr. Benazuz,
Thank you very much.
welcome
Thank
to
you.
Channel 7, the Knowledge Channel.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
So, how are you?
It's amazing. I would like to start by thanking you to receiving us, to give us a chance to speak about the books and the SILA in general. And would like to thank as well the public who came in great number this year, and especially the two first days. Even if our national team played, they came present and they make us happy because that's why we work for. We work to distribute the knowledge, to distribute our love of books, our love of reading. And when we see that much people coming from all over the country, it's sensational.
Literature cannot exist without readers.
That's for sure.
Yes. So, you both work at the book industry. So, please tell us more. How did you start? How was you first? Let's start from the beginning. How was your school career, Mr. Ait Abdurrahim?
I started, to be honest, the love of books started with my grandmother. She is almost illiterate, but she was taking me on her side, and the first thing that she was telling me, you have to read, you have to read, you have to read. But I told her, as all the children, but I have nothing to do in school. She said, no, I'm not talking about school. I want you to read. Take this book. She was going out to buy me books, sometimes not by herself, but she has always a book to give me. And she said, start, read it, and after, tell me the story.
Wow.
And that was what made me love reading. And then it's a habit. And that's why I really encourage all the parents to stay beside their children, maybe at the beginning reading for them, and then let them read. Not too much. It has to be a pleasure. If you read 1-2 pages a day, that's more than enough. If you feel it's is enough, is enough. To make the kid love the reading. Then, when he will grow up, he will see that is a source of knowledge. When you have this source of knowledge, it's where it starts.
I remember when I was a kid, before sleeping, my mother used to read me stories, and then she told me, it's bedtime, you have to sleep. And since I was a boy, I was a very impatient person. I'm not a patient guy, so I didn't sleep. I was thinking, what's the next part of the story? So when I started learning to read words and sentences, I was reading by myself. I didn't need her anymore. So
I think that's
you're right. It's when you're a kid.
It's where it starts. And this SILA, I spoke with a lot of people, a lot of journalists, and I always put the finger on this point, is the kids. It starts from the young age. It's not that if you are over 30, it's over for you.
Yes.
Not at all, because you can be a kid of 40 years old or 70 years old.
Yes.
That's why I mean. Reading, it has to be a habit, as eating, as washing, as going out, as having a coffee. It's a habit. So that's what we need. And to carry on what I did in life, I have a very... I wasn't in the book industry to start with.
Yes, we'll come back to this later.
Yes. So I went to Europe to carry on my education, and then I worked in America, in Italy, and then I went to Brazil. I established myself in Brazil for years. I worked as political advisor for the Brazilian authorities, and then I went to the private sector where I opened my own company, where I was working as a commodity broker, and unfortunately I never worked with our country, but I think it was business. Now it's passion.
Yes.
It's the heart is talking, and when the heart is talking, it has to come back to your roots and to your own country. And hopefully, it will be a start, not just for me, but a lot of people around the world to come to Algeria to discover our magic country and our magic people.
Algeria is calling back her children.
We have to. We have
Yes.
to come back. We have every one of us has to put his own brick to build this huge
To build
future
our
that
country.
is waiting for us,
Yes.
waiting for our children and all our descendants.
Yes. Mr. Benazuz,
Yes.
you're an English teacher at university and you're passionate by books.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
About my publishing house.
Yes.
Yes, as Mr. Hakim said, we all started working on books. If we go back to, as he said, the grandmas and grandparents, they used to tell us funny stories. It was not in Arabic nor in French, in Berber.
In
So
Amazigh
I
language.
loved very much orality. This led or gave me the idea of reading later on. When I became a bit older, I started really just following cartoons on TV. Remy, Sandy Bell, and many other cartoons. Okay, Grindizer, if you can remember them. I took notes. I remember that even these notes are still present with me in my office. Then when I got married, my wife said, because I had a leaflet of the complete list of the irregular verbs.
Yes.
Now, within about 20 years, I have sold over 1 million copies.
Wow.
1 million
That's
copies.
huge.
It is translated into French, Arabic, and I even suggested it in Italy, in Bologna, with a publisher, another publisher. Just he is studying just to publish it in instead of Arabic, he will use Italian. And actually, even for the present time, I'm negotiating with Turkish just to introduce also the same leaflet in Turkish. I come back to the publishing house. So my wife said, why don't you think to make things officially? And the idea emerged, and we started working on
kids' books.
Yeah, kids. Okay, books for kids. Books for kids, because kids are the most important, part in the society. You talked about reading. Reading is the most important skill to invest, to promote it. I think that good readers become good writers. Active readers
Yes.
become necessary good
Good. All right.
writers. You can take enough examples of famous, well-known, authors
You
and
know,
writers.
some people say that a writer has a battlefield in his mind where ideas fight each other,
Sure.
and only the strongest
Yes.
ones end up in a book.
I totally agree with that,
Yeah.
because I think the idea that all the writers that I met up to date, what they do, I'm talking about foreign authors like Paulo Coelho in
Yeah,
Brazil,
yes.
and some European authors, and even our local authors.
Unfortunately, some authors became more commercial, like Paulo Coelho.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paulo Coelho, I know him personally, so he's a good friend. What I can say about him, he is two different sides of him. I know the personal side where he has always a notebook in his hand and write notes all the time. And then let's say these ideas might become a book, might. And that's what we come back to what you said is a battlefield. The battlefield is not just in the brain, is you have to put that on paper. It's to come back to your introduction, paper book is very important. It's very important because we don't know how to read. Most of us, we learn to read is just reading the words. We don't read the ideas. We don't know how to read because there is techniques how to read. Our brain is very active, very quick. So if we don't read quickly, we get bored.
Yes.
So if we get bored, it's over. You have to be in a dream. You have to be in another world. You have to be transported. I will not say that life is hard enough. We need to escape from it.
Books make it easier.
That's the thing.
And you guys, you both work to make books more easily accessible to the Algerian society.
That's what we aim, and
Yes.
I'm sure Yassine will,
Sure.
with his publishing house here in Algeria, can tell about it. But if I talk about my side, our aim is to open a branch in Algeria to lower the costs.
Yes.
So we really want to have an easy access, a very easy access to the readers. Everyone can buy a book. Like you can buy bread, you can buy a book. If you buy a book at 2,000 or 3,000 dinars, it's not for everyone. But if you can buy it as 200, 300, even 500 dinars, it will make it easier for the parents, even for the parents to encourage
That's why
their
you
kids.
created the Scarlet Letter.
Exactly.
So I think even that today to put the book within the reach of everybody is easy compared to a decade ago, a couple of decades ago. So I think that even with the technological advance and with Facebook and the mass media in general, I think that reading become easy. And reading, as I said, is very, very important, is very significant. So when we read, we can get imagination.
When
And
we read, we travel without moving our feet.
Yes. And even this imagination, you are exploiting your imagination, and this imagination can leads you to inspiration, and this inspiration to creation, and creation you can, let's say, even a revolution.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a revolution in your world, in the and the world of kids is famous. Okay, Peter Pan, or even
Yes.
if you take Alice in the Wonderland, or if you take all these stories, Cinderella, it's wonderful. It's
Yes.
wonderful. I loved it from when I was very young, but this doesn't mean that only I'm investing in books for kids. I published a book for in Sharjah. I met Lemir Khaled الجزائري,
Yes.
the great son of Emir Abdel Qadir al-Jazairi. So we worked together about his book. Okay, we edited it together, and it's one of the historical books that tells enough about Amir Abdel Qadir. And also I made other tries with other novelists, and I published them. About 6 or 7 years ago, an Indian company, X-Act, Rahul Singhal, he's from India, sent me a message just looking for copyrights to buy his fairy tales. Then I answered them. I said, "Can we meet in the hotel?" So we met in Sheraton. Then we started talking. He said, "You are in the industry of books?" I said, "Yes." "And you teach English? I need you. Don't leave."
Yeah.
There were some publishers there. When they all left, he told me to come. He invited me, and we started talking. From that time, I mean, it goes back to about 2015 or 2014, I started working with him and represent him here in Algeria.
That's
Then enough interesting books have been sold to the Algerian publishers, especially about books, kids' books.
There is also another, let's say, struggle. Some books written by Algerian writers are not always available. There's a problem of re-edition.
I totally.
How can we find a solution to that?
I think we need from the authorities to have a regulator. The regulator, it will work on the copyright, because nowadays we can publish a book in Algeria very easily. We have the technology for, we have the people for, we have the competences for, and the capacities. However, most
Authorities are helping the writers.
and the authorities are helping the writer. I'm not talking about the authorities. We need the regulator, really, in the term of regulator, to look after the copyright, because it's very important. And nowadays, I'm based in Europe, so I can talk about it. The copyright is very important. Is to safeguard the authors and their rights,
Sure.
the financial right. But we should look for the African authors, which are amazing. I can talk about English, but there is some authors from Zimbabwe, from Botswana, from Nigeria. Nigeria, it's a huge potential of writers. On the second day of the Sila, I met a young chap of 19 years old. He came to me, he said, look, I wrote a book in English. He lived in a village. And he said, instead of going out and doing crazy things, I'm staying at home or outside when the weather can permit. And I wrote a book in English. He's just 19. Even if the book is not good, but it's proud. I felt so proud that I'm going to publish him, whatever is the outcome. It's just to support the young generation, and that's what we are looking for, is the new generation coming up and giving a new start. For the re-edition of the existing authors, it's where the regulator should act, and I will not say oblige, but advise the first edition, the first house, the publishing house, to reprint them and give a new life to it. Because if I I saw a book when I was a child, I will advise it to my kid,
Yes.
and that's what they are going to do to their kid, and etc. It will go. That's these amazing authors that we are having now and we had needs to go on time.
Yes,
for
and
the future.
the re-edition will help us to protect our culture.
Definitely.
For example, there are many books. I still struggling to find them. I spent my whole life looking for a book.
Yeah.
Tahar Jaoud, Le Dernier Été de la Raison, The Last Summer of Wisdom.
Yes.
I didn't find it.
But you can find it in Europe. That's
Okay.
sad.
Yes.
There are
That's
some.
very sad.
Yes.
Yes.
And there is some authors, some historical authors like Frantz Fanon.
Yes.
We bring
The
some.
wretched of the earth.
A lot of titles. We bring some of them in English, and that's our aim, is to take our authors
Yes.
and translate them in all the languages, to give access. It's not easy
To
access.
promote our culture, to promote
promote
our history,
to
our
to
writers.
safeguard it, and I insist on safeguarding
The
our
point,
cultures
yeah.
and our history, because
For example,
Memory.
Mohammed Yir spent a
Our
year in the United States.
memory, yeah.
He
Yes.
was a teacher at
Yes.
an American university,
Yes,
and
yes.
when I meet foreigners, when I talk to them about Mohammed Yir, they don't know him, even though he's a world famous author.
no, definitely. So that's what should have the role of this regulator, is to safeguard our culture and our history, because it's like a tree. If the tree doesn't have roots, it will fall over.
Yes.
And that's what we need. We are building the roots of our future, and we need to have all our authors, all our historical authors, and to safeguard them and to be sure that the rights are paid to the author, because we need to talk about business, about money,
Yes.
because it's all about money.
Sure.
Sure.
All is about money.
And you talked about African
yeah,
authors. Mr. Ben Azouz,
Yes.
you work on 4 African authors.
Authors, yeah.
Tell us more.
Yeah, it's about the 4 main chapters. The first one is about nationalism, then even education, and also authenticity, African authenticity, in addition to modernity.
Who are those 4 authors?
The 4 authors are, as he said, from Nigeria. Chinua Achebe, he's from Nigeria. Mulud Mamri from Algeria. Ngugi wa Thiong'o from Kenya. In addition to Osman Simben, he's also a filmmaker. He's a famous Senegalese filmmaker and a writer too. He wrote significant books, eminent books. In addition to all of them, 4 of them, to come back to this.
What's the common point between 4 of them?
The common point is they are all against this neo-colonial approach of to get rid of our own memory, of our own history, and let's say even to put much emphasis on our mother tongues,
To push those countries forward after the colonial period.
Yeah, because even when you say for French, for instance, the French language, yes, the French language was exploited by Mouloud Ma'amri,
Yes.
by Katib Yassine, by all these Algerian authors, including even for Achebe and Ngugi, for English language. They used it as a medium,
Yes.
just to communicate, to make their national causes to even
Heard by
talk about-
everyone.
Yes, and also, even for Mouloud Ma'amri,
Yes.
he wrote the report which was given to Mohammed Yazid
Yes.
in the United Nations organization. So just to internationalize, if you want, the Algerian cause.
Yes.
So French was used, including English too, as medium to communicate the sorrows, the problems, the issues, the social and political and even cultural issues of people. Mouloud Ma'amri, after after independence, including even Ngugi and Achebe and Osman Simben, they all decided to no longer write in the colonial languages.
Just like Malik
but use-
Haddad.
Malik Haddad.
Malik
too.
Haddad
Yes,
said, what
of
separates
course,
me
of
from my
course.
country is the
Sure.
French language.
Sure. So language is also a means, an ideological means.
And when Malik
Yeah.
Haddad stopped writing in French,
Yes.
he did something.
Yes.
He created a magazine,
Yeah.
Amal in
Yes.
Arabic and
Yes.
Promesse in French.
Even Ma'amri.
Yes, to
even
allow
Ma'amri,
the young,
yes, yes.
the young writers
Yes.
to express themselves, to express their ideas.
Mouloud Katib Yassine said that French is the loot of war. C'est le
Yes.
butin de guerre somewhere.
It's a long debate, even
Yes,
though
a long debate,
Malik
yeah.
Haddad
Yeah,
and Katib
yeah,
Yassine
yeah,
were
and
close
yes,
friends.
yes.
One of them
Yes.
kept writing in French,
Yes.
the other one stopped
Yeah,
writing in
stop, yeah,
French.
sure,
It's a really
sure.
long
Yeah.
debate.
But let's talk about our indigenous cultures, including Berber,
Yes.
including Mozambique, including those are our own cultures.
Yes.
I'm not a European.
Yes.
I'm not an American.
Yes.
I'm more French. I'm Berber. I'm Algerian.
North African.
I'm Algerian. So we have to invest to focus on our own cultures.
Yes.
On our own languages. Why not? Ngugi wa Thiong'o, even he stopped at a given time writing in English. So he started writing in Gikuyu language.
Yes.
In Gikuyu, his native mother tongue. Then later on, he said, okay, let's now translate from Gikuyu, from my native language, into English. So it was really amazing and wonderful. This paved the way somewhere to take into account the indigenous cultures. And when you say African literature, is African literature the one which is written in colonial languages, or so we should even write about our cultures, about our history, using our mother tongues. Why
That's
not
great.
even Berber,
Yes.
in addition to Arabic?
Arabic,
for
yes.
sure, for sure.
Yes.
So I think that this we have to promote and to take it into
Promote
account.
our culture, yes.
Yeah.
That's a way to promote our culture.
I feel that language shouldn't be a barrier. I'm proud to be Algerian. I'm proud to be African. I think the future is us. The future is Algeria. The future, consequently, the future is Africa. We shouldn't put the colonialism within this kind of debates, because the French language, okay, it's coming from the old colonialism power. However, sometimes it helps to open up to the world. What I feel is, it's just a personal feeling. I'm sure I'm not an expert
Yes.
like Yassine does, but writing in another language, I'm not saying it can be Italian, it can be English, it can be Russian.
Sure.
We don't mind the language. We need to support the creativity and the excellency. We came from a time where we had amazing, and where the excellency was the base for all this author. You
Yes.
spoke about Mouloud Mamri, you spoke about Katib Yassine, to speak about them. Malik Haddad and many others. We have hundreds of
Mujidara.
amazing
Yes.
authors.
Yes.
So when they wrote in a foreign language, it helped us, our country, our people, to go worldwide. It shouldn't be a barrier. You write in French, you write in English, in Amazigh, in Arabic, in Russian, doesn't mind.
It's a way of diversifying
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
knowledge,
Yeah.
our knowledge, our source of knowledge.
No, I totally agree. It's not just that. It's not just that, because we are in the book industry, and we know how important it is to touch as much people as we can. So if we write, for example, a book in Mozambique dialect of the Amazigh, it will touch just a certain community.
Yes.
So
But how can you really reach all these peasants and all these poor people? My grandmother, these illiterate people who can't really read and understand French nor English, other foreign languages. I said a short while ago that it is the loot of the war.
Yes.
This is taken for granted. That's its significance.
And after all,
to become
language is just a
polyglots.
way to
Yes.
communicate.
Yes.
that's it.
Yes.
That's what we should take
Sure.
it, and not politically.
Sure. Yes.
And we shouldn't be tied. For example, if we write in French, we shouldn't be tied to France, and if we write in English, we should be tied to Britain or to
Like
America.
Asia Jabbar, francophonophile.
What about
Exactly.
yes?
Yes.
But what about globalization? All this
Globalization,
mondialization.
yes.
Globalization. Can we accept, just to talk about my fourth chapter, modernity? Is modernity, as it is communicated from the West to us, okay, the West and the rest, okay, we belong to the rest. But my belonging is in my culture,
Yes.
in my language, in my traditions, in my customs, in my way of life too. I don't reject. I don't say just to let's get rid of these foreign languages or even this Western way of life, but just to focus on our unicity, on our, how to say it, specificity, because globalization is just sweeping all the local, the indigenous cultures.
Yes.
This is, as I said, okay, this notion of WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, we talked about before. So if you are not, I mean, white, let it be Anglo-Saxon, Protestant.
And here
Okay, so-
comes the responsibility of books.
Yes, yes, of
I-
authors too.
I totally
of
agree with what you said.
publishers too.
I totally agree with what you said, Yassine. If I might, I would like to add a really important point. We should promote the excellency.
Yeah.
And at this time, I'm feeling that we are promoting everything.
We should select.
We should select
Select,
and
yeah.
promote the excellency, not because you are famous, not because you are well
It
known,
will
or
be
you're
only because you deserve it.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
It's everything goes to merit.
Yes.
If you are good, you are good, and no one can take your place.
Sure.
If you are coming from Borj Baji Mukhtar, Ain Safra, Tindouf, whatever the place that you are coming from,
Yes.
if you are good, you are good. As there is a famous
Saying,
publisher that
yeah.
I will hide his name. He said once, I found my new authors by reading them. He said, but how can you go that? Most of the time you are in these famous parties where all the publishers are,
Yes.
and you are to get access to it is very hard. I said, no. I'm receiving emails every day.
And you just have to read them.
I have just to read them. I
Sure.
don't know. I don't
Sure.
read the name of the author
Yeah.
until the end of the book.
Yes.
If the book is good, I will know who wrote it.
Yes.
But if the book is bad,
Yeah.
it's over.
Yes.
And that's what we should promote.
Selection, yeah.
We have
The merit.
we have too many amazing people in our country.
Yes.
Amazing. There is people from some wilayat. They don't have access to. There is some villages. If you go to the headquarter of the wilaya, like if you are in Al-Biyad or Naama, to go to Naama, to go to Al-Biyad, it's a long trip.
Yes.
It's expensive.
Sure.
But you can send an email.
Yes.
And I really advise all our youngsters to try.
Yes.
It's not easy. It's not easy even for us as professionals. We have a lot of difficulties to get there. But all these authors, I will strongly advise them from the bottom of my heart,
Yeah.
carry on.
Sure.
Try to give the best of
Sure.
yourself
Yes.
and never give up. Because everyone will tell you what you are
Yes,
doing.
never
And
give
it's
up.
in our culture, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Thank
lost,
you.
we lost the promotion, and we go to doesn't worth it.
Thank you,
But just
sir.
when you
Thank you very
say that, I mean, for this variety of cultures and this selection, intellectual selection, everything is found in the social media. It's a question of
Yes.
just to
Yeah.
to make the. You have the information, heavy information on the net, and everything is dealing with transformation. And to transform the information, you must be formed. So
Yes.
information, transformation, training, and formation. Okay, so everything is
Thank you, sir.
is linked together.
Thank you for your precious advice
Thanks
and
to you.
informations. Thank you. Thanks for
a
being
lot.
with us.
Thank you very much.
Dear viewers, remember, reading allows you to travel without moving your feet. And readers live 1,000 lives before they die. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for watching us. Next time, we will discover other beautiful minds. Stay tuned.